Okay, so we are on to our second lesson of geography now, where, if I can remind you, we're learning all about land use and how it's used in the UK. So, just like we normally start every geography lesson, is we've got to keep recapping what we did last time, because otherwise we might forget. So, this is something that we did last lesson, and hopefully you all researched one national park or had a look at a national park. So, can you pause the video and write down any national parks that you remember? Okay, let's go over some national parks then. This one here. So, some of our national parks that you may have written down are the New York Moors, Snowdonia, the Brecon Beacons, the South Downs, Exmoor, Northumberland, and then places like the Lake District. And did I say Snowdonia? I said Snowdonia. So those are some of our national parks. Now remember, a national park is a preserved part of land. Okay, in the UK, so we're not allowed to build on national parks because they're a beautiful landscape. Can you name some counties that surround us? Now, counties are always the tricky one. What do they always end in? They always end in sheer. A lot of them end in sheer. So, what's our county? Have a think what our county is. Have a think about what counties surround us, like Bed and Hertford. Okay, pause the video and write down some counties. All right, let's have a look at some of our counties then. So we are here, right smack bang in the middle. We are Buckinghamshire in Milton Keynes. Now, surround us, some of the ones that I said were Bedfordshire, Hertfordshire, and we've also got Oxfordshire as well. They surround us. We've also got Northamptonshire, so you might know some people that live in Northampton. And then ones that I always remember in England are ones like Norfolk, Suffolk, ones like East Sussex and West Sussex. They're both different ones. Cornwall and Devon as well are their own county. Leicestershire, Nottinghamshire, Yorkshire. So remember Yorkshire, that's split into two. You've got East Yorkshire and West Yorkshire, because you can see that's quite a big county. So those are some of our counties. So keep coming back to them because we've got to, as part of like Key Stage 2, you've got to learn some of the counties. I think you've got to name a certain amount of counties. So keep learning them. Right, okay, so today's learning is what are the landscape regions of the UK? So we're going to be looking at this word landscape. So you've heard me mention it a little bit when we're talking about national parks, but we're going to be looking at it in a particular area of the UK today. So we're going to have a look at some landscapes. What do I mean by the word landscape? So, what does the word landscape mean to you? So, for me, if I was to describe the word landscape, I would say that a landscape is beautiful to look at. I would say a landscape might feature a hill or a lake as well. Landscape often covers a large amount of land. It's a beautiful landscape. It might also have some sort of tourist attraction there, so like a castle or a particular fort. So, it might have a tourist feature in a landscape. So I want you to think, I'm going to show you some pictures. I'm going to whiz through some pictures. I want you to have a think. Where are they? So I'm going to talk to you a bit about where they are. What do they show? So can you spot anything in the picture? And do you recognise them? Perhaps you've been there before on one of your little home visits on a what I call a staycation. So you stay in the UK for a vacation. Now, normally we would be having a really good discussion about this in the classroom, but you're just going to have to think to yourself about some of these questions. All right, so this is part of the Lake District. So just like I said, a lot of landscapes feature hills and lakes. So here you can do, in the Lake District, you can do lots of walking. There are lots of walking trails in the Lake District. Nice little villagey areas as well. This landscape shows the Yorkshire Dales. So this is a railway across here. Sometimes this can be called an aqueduct as well, where they transferred water in the past. So like I said, it often has like a feature. So that's a feature in that landscape, a beautiful railway. This is in Northumberland. I've never been here. This is Lindisfarne Castle. Okay, this is so again, like I said, it's often a feature of history which shows a really good landscape. And you can see here, what can you tell about this castle here? That it's on the we call it the if it's by the sea, it's on the coast. It's on the coast, this castle. And also, what do you notice about this landscape? Where is the castle built? I taught this when I was in year one history. The castle is built on a hill so that it's difficult for enemies to get to the castle. All right, this is a really famous tourist attraction. Hopefully, some of you may recognise it. It's called Hadrian's Wall. So this wall was built in historical times, in history times. I'm not quite sure the full history of it, but again, it makes a beautiful landscape. It goes for a very, very long time as well. Hadrian's Wall. This is probably my favourite landscape because it doesn't even feel like it could be in the UK, but this is in Scotland. I would definitely want to go and visit here. Beautiful, beautiful coastsides and beautiful hills. Like I said, a lot of landscapes are by the coast. They've got hills. It's got those sorts of features. Cornwall. Now this is Michael's Mount. This is a really interesting place. So just in the background here, you've got St Michael's Mount. It's like it's a big castle, and you can only get to it at certain times of the day because of the way that the tide comes in and out. Really, really interesting. So it's along the coastline. Or I'd like to visit here as well. This is lovely. This is in Cornwall. A very, very favourite spot in Cornwall along the coast. A lot of people travel down to Cornwall and see their landscapes because Cornwall's got beautiful landscapes. It's got sandy beaches, great big cliff tops. They make a really good landscape. North Norfolk. Now this is in a little village called Blakeney. Now in Blakeney, and certain times of the year, you see these wonderful creatures. You see the seals, and they come at certain points of the year. So you can go to Blakeney and see the seals. So which makes it a great feature for a landscape. This is in Wales. This is called an estuary. Do you want to say that word? Say that word out. Estuary. An estuary is where boats come together. Okay, there might be fishing boats, but they come together in the estuary. It's almost like a landscape in itself because of the fishing village that it is. And then I can't give you a clue on this one, but I'm going to let you have a guess. Now, this picture here, you have to look at what colour the cliffs are. What colour are the cliffs? They're white. They're called the White Cliffs. So if you know the end of it, the White Cliffs is one of the most famous landscapes in this country. The White Cliffs of Dover. Now these cliffs are very significant for our country because right on the other side of what's this? It's not the sea. It's called the English Channel. Across from the English Channel, which is here, is what country? What country is across from the English Channel? It's France. So when you are taking a boat from France to the UK, you will see the White Cliffs of Dover. So this is the White Cliffs of Dover. Right, okay, we're going to zoom into a particular landscape. So we're going to zoom into a landscape called the Jurassic Coast. Now, I have been researching all about the Jurassic Coast. What does the word Jurassic make you think of? Jurassic Park. Makes you think about dinosaurs, doesn't it? Now, the Jurassic Coast is quite famous for finding fossils. So I'm just going to whiz to part of so you can see here, this is what a fossil is called, and it's quite famous for finding lots of them. So it's quite cool in itself. So our Jurassic Coast is, if I move my head, it's just in this part of our country. It's along the coast. It stretches from towns like Swanage to Exeter, all the way along there. So it's quite a long part of the coast. And you can go to different parts here, see where these numbers are. You can go and visit all of these different landscapes that are along the coast. So the Jurassic Coast, where can I put my head? There you go. The Jurassic Coast stretches for 96 miles, quite a long way, like you saw on the map, from Dorset to Devon. So a lot of people may have gone on, a lot of you guys may have gone on holiday in Dorset and Devon. Spans a range of geographical, strata. From chalk, strata is like stone, different types of cliffs, like different types of cliffs. From chalk to red desert sandstone, with many fossils embedded. So if I look into some of these pictures, these are the sorts of like cliffs, and they're all made out of different kinds of rocks. So if you have a look at this one here, because of the type of rock it is, makes this really cool arch. How do you think the arch has been formed? How do you think that little arch has been formed? Now you'll probably, this is a quite complex geography, which you'll probably learn a little bit later, but have a think, because it wasn't made like that. Something's made it like that. What's made it like that? The sea. The sea's made it like that. It's called eroded. The sea has eroded some of the rock in there. And if you like that sort of stuff, then you can study geography when you're a little bit older. So this is our Jurassic Coast. Just like here, like I said, you can see where our land, where our cliffs have been eroded by the sea. So originally, our land would have been all the way out here, but the sea knocks against the rocks, and then all of these parts would have been land. How clever is that? But we're not going to focus too much on that. We're mainly going to look at the landscape of the Jurassic Coast. So we're going to look a little bit at their website together. Now, feel free to do the same. You can explore their website. So what is the Jurassic Coast? Well, the Jurassic Coast begins in Exmouth, East Devon, and continues for 95 miles to Old Harry Rocks. So we're going to show you some of the parts of Jurassic Coast near Swanage, Dorset. It is England's only natural World Heritage Site. So quite a lot of the time, World Heritage Sites are buildings that are preserved, so you can't do any works on them, you can't knock them down. So this is a natural one, so the cliffs are a natural World Heritage Site. Explore the Jurassic Coast and its towns and natural sites. So we're going to go and have a look at some of the towns. Just going to find the website. So I forgot what website which part of the website it was. So it's on visit and places to go. You can have a look at all the different places that are along that coast. So you've got Sidmouth, Budleigh, Salterton, Exmouth. We've got a place called Beer, which has got the chalk cliffs, Seaton, Undercliffs Reserve, Charmouth, Golden Cap, and Lyme Regis. Now I'm going to quickly explain your activity, because you're going to use this website to match up the picture to the place that you can go on this landscape. So on your activity, here it is, move my head. You have got to match the picture to the correct place. Now you can use that website. If you have a look for this picture, so if I go on that website and have a look for the white cliffs, is it that one? Because I've taken all of these pictures from this website. Can you spot it? Is it that one? It's not that one. Oh, there it is. There it is. I think that's that one, isn't it? Yes. Okay, so this one is Old Harry Rocks. So what you would do is you would write Old Harry Rocks. You can write it in a notebook. Old Harry Rocks. The white chalk gleams brightly in the sun. And if you want to add some more detail, you can go onto the website and click on Old Harry Rocks, and you can find out whereabouts it is. So you might say it's the eastern end of the Jurassic Coast. If you want to do some extra research on it, that would be amazing. Then, if you'd like a little more, if that just wasn't enough for you to match up the pictures with the correct landscape, I'd like you to write a sentence about which one you would visit. Which one would you like to go to? Personally, when I was coming up with this, I quite liked this one here. I think it was one of the beach sides. That one matches. What I'll do is I'll post a video or a picture of them all matched up at the bottom, just to double check your work at the end once you've done your learning. Okay. All right, good luck. Have fun learning about all the landscapes along the Jurassic Coast.